In the previous episode, I introduced the concept of humorism. Humorism is the ancient concept that our body is governed by four different fluids, otherwise known as humors. These are blood, color, phlegm, and melancholy. Each of these humors corresponds to a classical element, those being air, fire, water, and wind. In the game, you, the player, will manipulate these humors through dice. By choosing which die to use in any particular situation, in your diamond, which is your creature cards, you control their temperament, and you basically choose between two effects that your card can have by choosing which die to add to your card. To better explain this, let me introduce you to the ultimate medieval guide to well-being. So this is the rose, and it's named after heroic medicine, and it displays the four humors and how you can combine them together. Combining two humors leads to your diamond having a certain temperament. You can combine temperaments in this diagram horizontally, vertically, from corner to corner, but never diagonally. So there are no pairs of fire and water, and there are no pairs of wind and earth. Never. The temperaments, mechanics-wise, are temperature and humidity related, meaning by combining water, which is the phlegmatic temperament, with wind, you get wet. Yeah, funny, haha. Wet. By combining wind, sanguine temperament, with fire, the choleric temperament, you get hot. By combining fire with melancholic temperament, which is earth, you get dry. And finally, by combining earth with water, you get cold. Now, how do all this differ? Wet means that your diamond will be tranquil. The tranquil temperament basically means your monster will be cool, calm, and collected. Tranquil doesn't allow you to do a lot of damage, but it does give you powerful effects because of how zen you are. Hot means active. Let me make it more readable. Hot means active. This is the most straightforward temperament, and it does decent to a lot of damage, but usually it doesn't have much of a special effect, if not at all. It's a very good offensive temperament. Dry means neurotic. Neurotic is a person vulnerable to negative emotions, but here you can also think of it as someone who's very anxious and cautious, borderline paranoid, and if that can result to paralysis, or in the complete opposite side, an overcompensation through aggression. For context, another term I was thinking of when writing the rules is tyrant instead of neurotic, but neurotic is way more apparent what it means. A neurotic has potential for the highest damage attacks, but that usually comes at a cost, like, for example, causing damage to your other diamonds. Finally, we have cold, which is passive. This is a unique temperament because it's the only one that doesn't allow you to attack. It's a purely defensive and effect only. There's also one more aspect of regulating your diamond's temperature that I haven't touched upon, and that basically correlates also to the value of those diamonds, but also the laws of thermodynamics. Basically, by heating or cooling your cards, as I explained, you can change their state of matter from solid to liquid to gas, and from there to plasma, or vice versa. If that rings a bell, it's probably because it's exactly what it reminds you of. If you're familiar with the 4 stages of the alchemical process, which is black, white, yellow, and red. In the game, you can think of these as evolutionary stages, but they're not exactly that. They're changes in matter. They're molecular shifts, with the solid state being the base form. So how do you change states? Of all times, my external hard drive now decided it should malfunction. And bro, it scared me so much. I have saved everything there. But apparently now it's fine. Jesus. In the Heroic Roast segment, I mentioned 4 temperaments, each affected by heat differently. Basically, you can think of the active and neurotic temperament as increasing in heat, as a cause of increase in heat, and passive and the tranquil temperament as a cause of decrease in heat. The difference between an increase and decrease in temperature is that you can think of an increase as a chance for an evolution, and a decrease as a chance for a devolution. As I mentioned in the first episode, its diamond is assigned a zodiac sign, and based on the season of that sign, it receives a seasonal die with a set value. However, the card's state of matter is determined by the element associated with the sign. So a Cancer diamond, which is a water sign, it's in a liquid state, but its seasonal humor is fire, the choleric humor, because its birth month is July, which belongs in the summer season. Finally, each diamond card features something called humor liter capacity, which is displayed above the card art. For example, let's say 10 liters. Your seasonal humor, which I explained, is predetermined. Let's say it's in the value of 6 liters. And let's say you have also a choice between 2 possible additional humor choices. So if the liter capacity of the card is 10 and your seasonal die's value is 6, you have to either match 10 or exceed 10. So the value of your additional die has to reach the value of 4. By the way, if you're American, sorry for using liters, but I'm not designing my game with gallons as a goofy measurement. Well, that concludes episode 2. Tell me, what do you think of these mechanics so far in the comments below? I know they can sound quite crazy and quite and took me quite some time to explain what I've explained so far, even though I've only kind of scratched the surface. I'm not even halfway through. But I think the reason for that is that the game mechanics are pretty unique for the most part, and I'm quite proud of what I've created. Like this video and subscribe to my channel because I have quite a lot of stuff planned out, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it. So far, we've only talked about what half your deck will consist of, which is monster cards, the diamond. So join me next time, where I'll be talking about what the other half will be. This is gonna be my answer to essentially magic and spell cards, but like always, with a big twist.